Man, Terry, to pay something off from last week's episode, you're 100% correct. These episodes are only going to get harder and harder not to watch the next episode right away. Man, this is what television's all about. Oh, whew.
Yeah, reasonably.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Adam, and that is Terry, and welcome back to the Almost Sideshow, where Huel is happy, so we are happy to give you guys the next episode of the Sideshow, where we're breaking down Breaking Bad, Season 4, Episode 11, which is entitled Crawl Space, which is a great foreshadow to how the episode will turn out. This episode did air September 25th, 2011. Welcome back, Terry. What a show, man. What a show.
You said at the beginning, I told you in the last episode, you are going to love this episode because this is where everything that has been building up finally starts to clash and finally starts to all come together, and it all seems to happen at the same time. And like there are just iconic moments in this episode and possibly leaves you with the biggest how do I not start the next episode you have in the entire show. Like that last shot is like
It's the best shot of the show so far. It's definitely one of the best
there's
shots.
2 more episodes still.
Plus another
That's
like
crazy.
what 13 or 16 episodes.
Well, yeah, but in the season, like we got 2 more episodes to wrap up. Like that's like a shot that you leads into your season finale. We still got 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such a good one. It's so good. There's a reason this is one of the highest rated episodes of the show, right? I think I saw on IMDb it's got like a 9.7.
And I spoiled it. We're probably going to give it a 10. Yeah, let's crank it up to 11. That's fantastic. Probably one of my favorite episodes that we've done, that I've seen so far from the show. How can you not be thoroughly impressed by just how everything kind of plays off and foreshadows upon itself as well? The closing score of the scenes too are just phenomenal. Such an ominous score and builds this climax that is something that we definitely need to dive into. So looking forward to talking about every little bit of the Sideshow. So
well then let's do it.
Crawl Space, give us a synopsis.
Yes. Breaking Bad season 4 episode 11 is entitled Crawl Space. Is Gus okay? Is Mike okay? Where is Jesse driving to? Luckily, Gus planned for this. He has a mobile hospital set up with extra blood for him, Mike, and Jesse already supplied. Gus is fine. Mike will need some more time. They begin their walk back stateside, where Gus tells Jesse he could take over the lab. Jesse's response? Don't kill Mr. White. Gus can't promise that. So what is Mr. White up to? He's still chauffeuring Hank around town. They start by staking out the chicken farm and finding nothing. Then, Hank wants to try out this industrial laundry owned by the same company. Walt panics and crashes his car instead of taking Hank right to his meth lab. So Hank buys his own car with button control since his legs are still returning to form. Now, what about Ted? He tells Skylar he can't do what she wants and tries to give the money back. Skylar freaks, won't take no for an answer, and then when she still gets a no, calls in Saul's A-team.
Dun dun dun.
Enter QB and Huel, who is reasonably comfortable. They force Ted to sign a check and say they will stay with him till it clears. Ted tries to make a run for it, trips on his rug, and runs into something else with his head.
Yay!
It's an act of God! Once Jesse is back in town, he starts cooking on his own since Walt has been busy. When Walt realizes what's going on, he tries to talk to Jesse, who seems to be putting his life back together. Last time Walt saw Jesse beat him up and kicked him out. And this time wasn't much better. When Jesse goes back inside, Tyrus is waiting once again, but this time with a taser. Next, we see Walt in the desert, tied up. Gus shows up with a simple message. You're fired. Leave Jesse alone. Hank has to go. If you interfere, I will kill you and your whole family. Walt immediately goes to Saul and asks for the information on the guy who will give them new identities. He also tells Saul to anonymously warn the DEA that someone is after Hank. He gives him the contact, makes the call, and gives Walt the lofty price tag it will take for him to disappear. Walt rushes home to grab his cash, which seems to be missing.
A little light.
Why? Skylar just gave it all to Ted. Walt has no way out. And very poetically, he lays in his crawl space as his sanity seems to rot
away.
There we go. That's it. That's what I got.
Yeah, way to have a psychological break at the end of the episode. Oh my goodness! If we don't put that as a body count item, I don't know what we're doing. That's a sanity break right there. Geez Louise, what a way to! Well, obviously the ending is clearly the best scene of this episode, but before we get there, the overall whole of the show, there are so many good foreshadowing moments. The tripping over the rug, which they don't do stuff like that unless something's gonna pay off for it. It's awesome. Immediately hated Binnicky, then loved Binnicky. Never seen a guy get that much wood before and enjoy it. It was awesome. Wow, that didn't come out good the second time. Anyway, this is a great episode, man. Like I can understand why this is one of the most highly rated episodes of the show. You're seeing Gus not in a suit. He's like in street clothes. Like it's kind of weird at the beginning. I felt I got some real ominous underground hospital vibes, like when you pull up in that warehouse and he's thought of everything. I do have a question. How did he know what Jesse's blood type was?
I'm sure he looked up hospital records or something.
That, and then his allergy, was that mentioned? I know that word was mentioned before. His allergy.
No.
But I've heard that word before, but I just whoa, what a coincidence. That's pretty crazy. And then as we get along and we get introduced, like I said, Binnicky and the Skylar stuff, that's just it's crazy and it all plays in. It just proves that one of my favorite spots is when Saul Brett busts into Saul's office and he's like, "How did you hear about this already?" Like, wait. Talk about hear about what? Nothing.
Never mind.
Forget
Why
it.
are you here?
Why are you here? It's great. There's so much stuff going on. It's really kind of hard to keep track of, compose a clear thought here, but it's just a fantastic thing. And I'm sure we're going to break everything down as we get along through our categories here, but it's a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, figuring out keeping everything straight, but not just that, but who knows what.
Yeah.
Right? Who's in on which part of the story? I
feel like I had to connect the dots and the lines to all these different stories and characters.
Walt has no clue what Skylar's doing with Beneke right now. That is completely, he has no idea that's even happening. The interesting thing of what's going on here is just how much Walt, that moment at the end, he realizes he's been played, right? This is like 2 moves to checkmate right now. He's done, right? He's been playing chess with Gus this entire season. He's been trying to stay one step up, and when he thinks something might go right, everything possible goes wrong, and there's no way out. At least there seems to be no way out.
Yeah.
And he is and that's him in that moment, right? And just the chaos of that moment. we've already talked about, but it's just such a cool moment where he's laying there realizing that it's pretty much over. Skylar's realizing, what did I do? And then she gets the hysterical call from Marie saying that Hank has a hit out on him again, and all the and like it's all just crashing down in one moment. And that shot, okay, but I don't know how they made it. Like this is that's a room in a house, like right? Did
Mhm.
they like recreate it or something? Did they cut a hole in the ceiling? I don't know, but it's the coolest shot, like of the whole show.
It could very well be like an attic crawl space opening too.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but it's just cool. It is an awesome shot, and you get you as it backs out, you just see the just how it's just all falling down, and it's yeah. But then you have the whole thing with Beneke and that and Huel and QB, and that's just fun. And it's an act of God. I mean, it's like
It's a great
I
line.
don't. It's a great line, but that's all you can say, right? That is all you can say. And then the Gus stuff, right? Like Gus and Jesse. Jesse realizing that he's got the worth, he's putting everything back together. He's back with Andrea. He's everything is going well. He's cooking on his own now. Like there's all this stuff that's all working, and everything at this moment is working against Walt. All of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fascinating development because everything is just so perfectly placed and perfectly written, perfectly developed, and just thoroughly thought through. And I can only imagine what the next two episodes will bring us, and how they perfectly place into the grander scheme of things as well. Uh, and
Well, and you knew when you had a season where it was all the buildup, and
mhm,
every episode just kind of built a little more and a little more, and added a new layer and another layer and another layer. You were going to hit a point
mhm.
where it was all going to come crashing down. You just don't imagine it's all going to happen at once and be so perfect like this. Because that's what it was, just like the perfect storm just all came crashing down on Walt. And you sit there and go, what? Where does he go next?
Mhm.
Like, there is no play here. Like, you look at him and he's laying there and he's realizing that. Like, he's there and he starts laughing. He's like, I don't have any plays left.
Mhm.
There's no more cards in the deck. I got nothing left.
I'm done. I don't know where the character goes now. Like, what's the I don't. That's the hard thing. You're asking me, like, what's going to happen next? I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say on
Well,
that
we'll
part.
get there. We
We'll
got a
get
lot
there,
of
but
talking to
yes, we
do
do.
before we get there. So let's
Oh,
get
by the
into
way, R.I.P. the Salamanca family. The last line of the Salamancas is gone.
your name dies with you.
With you, yes,
Well, all
great.
right.
Anyway,
What's the best scene? This might be the hardest episode to pick this because every scene
it's pretty damn
is
good.
so good.
I think funny enough, I think Huel. You happy that the whole scene with Huel and I forgot
Reasonably.
that his name was QB. I totally forgot about that. I said,
I don't
hey,
think
that's
we've
clever.
actually said it yet, but it's on IMDb, so I won't.
Okay, well there we go. The ginger and Huel. It's great. That's a great scene. The final scene is awesome too. But I actually want to let's talk about Jesse and Walt's the one scene they have together, and you just see like the pain. Obviously, Walt knows at the very end in the desert that Jesse's fighting for him to keep him alive. That's the only reason why he's alive. So there's just hard feelings between them right now. But that shot where he turns around and Tyrus is there with the cattle prod, phenomenal. Like that's another like who's that other guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's Tyrus's guy? Like that's the thing. Who's Tyrus's guy?
Tyrus has a guy.
Yeah,
I
you
don't have a
to go.
guy,
Yeah,
but Dyrus now has a guy.
yeah, that's the thing. He's the guy. But that's just a great shot, and he gets tased twice, or cattle prodded twice. It's great. Great little setup there. But the only down thing about that is that yeah, that Sonic game's not that good. Just I've heard mixed things. No.
No, I was watching the episode with my wife last night, and she actually said, "Look, he's playing a different video game. Make sure Adam says something."
Yes, I don't care enough to do the research of the name this time. But
uh,
I've heard. Yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, it's good to see Andrea back and her son and Jesse's relation because they look happy. They look like a really nice, like good couple together. It's great to see them together, and then having the whole Jesse and Walt stuff. And he's like, "You better shut up," because at this point, you is Jesse in recovery type of thing. Is that and she obviously knows he's dirty with drugs, but obviously they're trying to fix their relationship stuff too. So which is awesome, but at the same time, it's cool to see those little moments, and especially how it's set up again. And without that scene, we don't get how powerful it is with the Jesse in the desert with Gus, or Walt in the desert with Gus as well. So having the last thing he remembers
yeah.
before being tased is Jesse, and that's like, oh yeah, that's just why I'm still alive, is because Jesse.
Well, and in that moment, you
So
can tell
so
he's fully clean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fully clean, not he's completely sober and everything too, and happy, and like this is what his like seeing his life is. It's awesome. And when eventually I'm assuming that Jesse and Walt have some kind of get back together moment scene, I'm hoping, and that's it. Hopefully it pays off really well as well, so looking forward to that sometime down the line.
Yeah, it's subtle, right? It's subtle
Mhm.
just seeing how Jesse was able to once he it's like he was able to have a moment where he's felt worth. He fired a gun again and killed someone else, and like now the nightmares are gone. Um Someone saw worth in him and he sees worth in himself again. I mean, that's really where what and you just see it. All it takes is seeing him back on that couch playing video games with Brock, with Andrea there. That's all it took. And he's he's back, right? Jesse's
Mhm.
back where he needs to be. Um okay, best scene. That's where we're at. I've talked about a lot of stuff. Um but you mentioned it in passing and I got to go with it too. It's Gus going to Hector and just rubbing it in his face. And he pulls out the chain, right? The only reason he grabbed that chain is so that he could bring it to Hector. Like, they're all gone. And guess what? Your grandson is gone too. And why is your grandson gone? Because that piece of garbage that that tried to poison you with that burrito in with Tuco, that guy who caused Tuco to die, yeah, he killed him. That thing. You hate him already. Well, guess what? You can hate him even more now. And he's with me. And now you got nothing. You have nothing. Like it just you get that like this whole thing was just the revenge tour. And seeing it all play out and then seeing the look on Heck like that guy what's his name again? Yeah, Mark Margolis, the late
Mhm.
Mark Margolis. Uh the acting he does with that face and
It's
that's
great.
it and the occasional bell. I mean, underrated performance of the entire show.
Yeah, that is true.
He just nails it and it's so good. And look at me now, Hector, and he still refuses. He still won't do it. um, it's so good. So I mean, you've got the last shot, you've got the stuff with Beneke, but you also have that, and Jesse standing there going, "What the hell did I just walk into?" Right? What is this? It's just it's so good. It's so good.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a good thing in that. And watching over the bridge of the River Kwai too reminds me of that. I haven't seen
What
it.
have I done?
Yeah, I was like, what? What? I've not seen it yet. That's what I have not done. Big oversight
You need to see the Bridge on the River Kwai. It's such a good movie. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Good scene.
The Ken wins Bogdan douchebag of the movie goes to
The Ken wins Beneke Bogdan. Beneke Bogdan.
the Ken wins Beneke Bogdan. Bogdan Beneke.
Yeah, it's Beneke. Yeah, Beneke. He's trying to blackmail Skyler. Yeah, he's like, oh, maybe I'm just wording this wrong. Maybe I'm not doing this right.
Okay, so I would say I'm gonna say I had Ted written down too, but also I wrote down Skyler because I honestly think he's not trying to blackmail her.
Mm.
I think he's trying to explain himself and he's doing it so badly because it's Skyler, right? He doesn't think he has to try this hard with Skyler. Yeah, and Skyler is just on edge and pissed and taking it the wrong way at every turn. And like he would have come around to saying at some point, well, if you're going to give me more, I'll take more. But no, he's like, take the money back. I don't want it. It doesn't do anything. And if this isn't going to do anything, I just don't want the money. I just don't want any money. I'm screwed either way. So I may as well go out on the right side at least. So if you look at it that way, Skyler's the douchebag because Skyler takes it to another level, a level it doesn't need to be, because Beneke's just like, I'm just not going to take the money and we're going to call it good. And she's like, oh, blackmail, really? That's what we're doing here? Okay, well, I'm going to call in the hitmen to make sure you do this right, do what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Like, she takes it to a place it doesn't need to be and that's the big if, right? If Beneke is actually being genuine there, or is he actually trying to blackmail her? That's the question.
This is true. But yeah, I can see that too. Where Skyler is kind of a douchebag. What's also a douchebag move, not telling that you're giving a bunch of money. It's kind of a huge oversight that you're not giving him money to the money that Walt made and had probably plans for now instead of so then Walt's like laughing maniacally under a house by him in his misery. So anyway,
yeah okay, the Pinkman Stickman Award goes to
his shelf. Beneke's cupboard? What is that? What's that? His island?
It looked like a hearth almost.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there was definitely some wood on there.
Yeah, that's not a bad take. I was gonna go the guy waiting at the border with the car for Gus and Jesse because he's gonna get him in.
That is true.
Country.
The laundry basket also got him. The dirty laundry.
The dirty laundry also got him in. That's a good one too.
The car that hit Walter's car also got into Walter's car.
Mm-hmm.
Too. There's that.
Yeah. You could go with neck braces.
Yeah, neck braces.
They keep dogs from licking their balls.
Yeah, those ice.
Stay classy.
Yes, the spoons literally go in the ice cream. Spoons.
Yeah, the spoons.
Yogurt. Sorry.
This is like the most. I remember Todd at one point saying, "Guy, you guys do Stickman on Breaking Bad." what are you doing? Like, yeah, this is really hard to come up with every episode
But
because
it's better this way that it's not even people we're doing because clearly though the biggest stick man here is that entrance to the underneath the house because it literally is an opening that he goes in. So
hmm you don't know
and
what you're gonna find down there.
yeah, literally a man is in there.
This is true.
Wow.
This
Yeah,
is true. Vacuum cleaners.
vacuum.
That's all right. Best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo award for this one. I'll go first on this one because I'm going with Dr. Barry Goodman, played by JB Blanc.
Good, yeah.
Uh, Whenever I see this guy, I I don't know what everyone else sees from him, but when I see him, I think of Luigi Vampa from the 2002 film The Count of Monte Cristo.
Hmm.
Every time I see him, like that's who he is. And he pops up randomly in a lot of random stuff. And it's always great to see him. And he really saves the day here, right?
Mhm.
He's the doctor Gus trusts with his life. That says something right there. But yeah, he's Luigi Vampa from Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah,
And we slit your throat and we're a bit short-handed. Yeah, I love
JB
that movie.
Blanc. Let me see what he's been in real quick. I had
Count of
Alec
Monte Cristo.
Guinness, but
Oh, that's a good one too.
oh, he
You
was
never
in
go wrong with
Barry as
Alec Guinness.
well.
He was in Barry. Oh, who was he in Barry?
Batir.
Batier. That's what it was. Yeah, he was in Barry.
Yeah. Oh, Batman. He was the Penguin in Batman Shadows, the 2024 animated Batman. Haven't seen that one yet. I may have to watch it now.
For those listening, I'm shaking my head disappointingly.
No, you're not. Mortal Kombat 1. He was in the new video game. He was Kano in the video game Mortal Kombat. There we go.
So he does
Kano.
vocal. He does a lot of vocal work. Interesting.
He was in Diablo 4. There we go. Another one. Oh, he was in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, another video game. Hogwarts Legacy, another video game.
All right. All right. I think we got enough here.
Final
right.
Fantasy Crisis Core, another.
And Count of Monte Cristo
and
and Breaking Bad and Barry.
that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. And a bunch of video games apparently, but none of the video games that Jesse plays.
No. Dr. Robotnik? No. Anyway.
All right, the Gomi minor character of the episode.
Minor character of the episode.
No Gomi in this episode.
No. Tyrus is pretty awesome. I'll go with Tyrus here. Just his looks. He picked up on the fact that Walt was putting his hand on the weight, pushing down on it, giving it a little extra poundage for the weight at the beginning of the episode. That was a brilliant pull. And when he reweighted it, and he just taps it with the thing to put it back. It was like, yeah, he knew what you did. He saw your hand on it, and some of his looks and some of his lines. But like, does it have to be dirty laundry? Nope, it's good. Tyrus.
Yeah, I've got I have Tyrus as my LVP because he's
Wow.
kind of a dick to Walt the entire episode.
Well, it's
Because
great.
not only because he makes him he reweighs it, but after he reweighs it, he makes him lift it again when Walt obviously is feeling like crap.
Well,
Um, then the dirty laundry, then the cattle prod. When after he's already on the ground with the cattle prod, he hits him again just for fun. Um, he's hanging out outside of Hank and Marie's house still. I mean, he's just kind of all over the place and just being a dick intentionally to Walt. So you got that. The one I went with also could be LVP, and that's Huel. Whenever I think of Huel, I think of that scene. Huel, are you happy? Reasonably. Like that is the line that plays in my head every time I think of Huel. Is just reasonably. Um, yeah, it's great. I love it. So I'm going Huel. But you could also say he's LVP because when Ted gets up to run away, he just stands there and watches him. Like he doesn't even try
Yeah, that
to
is
do
true.
anything. Like
Well, he
he
has
just
remember he
got
has
up.
stomach
Like
problems
he just
too,
like oh, he just got up and ran away. He's got stomach issues. Like he's gonna blow up that bathroom before the check clears.
and that's an
Um,
act of God. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah. Huel, Huel
Huey.
and Tyrus could be best minor character, but they also could both be LVP at the same time. They're kind of endearing for both.
This is true. This is true.
Mhm. All right,
All right.
Cowhouse, dumbest thing said of the episode.
What do you want it to be called? Haji's quick vanish. This is a card for a dry cleaner,
That was vacuum cleaner.
vacuum cleaners, and it's a code name. How you want to get out of it? He'll call you back in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
It's good.
that was good.
It's like
Um,
last time I quoted it. It's $125,000.
mhm. The other one, yeah, that's a good one. Um, there, the stay classy. That line that might be Marie's best red line of the entire show when she just
Mhm.
looks and is like, "Stay classy." After talking about a dog licking his balls,
I feel like it's one
and
of those
then
dogs in a comb where they can't lick their balls.
uh-huh, and then the other one that like there were a couple lines in that scene that were like MVP lines from the character for the entire show. So you had "Stay classy" from Marie, and then you had the whole thing with the frozen yogurt, and Skylar's like, "It tastes the same," and Walter Jr. looks at her and says, "I just gotta feel sorry for your taste buds." Like that. It was a perfect line. Not really a dumb line, but a perfect line. The dumbest line is Skylar looking down at Walt and just simply going, "I gave it to Ted."
Yeah, it's pretty
And
bad.
and the look on Walt's face like, "Beneke? You gave our money to Beneke?"
You knew how to threw a pot at him once. What? Right?
I could have just talked to Ted.
Yeah, it's good. I also like the Gimp Mobile is pretty
Yep,
funny.
Mobile, that's good.
Gimp Mobile, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot wait to see him in that clown car. That'd be hilarious.
There were some great things. I'm trying to think of what else there was. Oh, the very beginning, like another one of the coolest lines
Let's take
was
out.
um, the doctor pulls Gus even though like Mike's bleeding out there.
Who got
It's like
pays my
this man
salary?
needs a doctor, and this man pays my salary.
It's a great line. This is a great line.
It's great. It's such a good line. Such a good line. Okay. Uh any problems, anything outdated? This episode's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect. I don't see. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's not even worth talking about. It's
I like the jet. I like the jet. Yeah, but you have to walk 6 miles. The six walking 6 miles. I think pretty sure you can at least get like a horse or somebody. What happened to that Cadillac? That's another thing. What happened to the car?
Don't arouse any suspicion, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Midlife crisis moment.
Free food always tastes good, but so does free drinks. I think that's it's good, just good things to live by.
Mm-hmm.
Spending your afternoons watching movies, I think, or old war movies. I think that's a good thing to do as well.
Do you think he had like a VHS or a DVD in, or was he on TCM?
TCM. It's definitely TCM.
That's fair. I can get behind that. All right, my midlife crisis moment is tripping on things. I mean, it happens. Like I teach teenagers, and there will be random times where I'll try to like be like, "Oh no, you don't understand. I'm still young. I can still do this." And then I'll make a fool of myself and trip and fall. Be like,
Hmm.
I was dumb. What am I doing? I can't keep up with them anymore. But every now and then I do. But yeah, tripping on things that you want to feel old, trip on something stupid, and fall on your face. That will make you feel old in a hurry.
Yeah. And you're going to be getting up embarrassed and in pain at the same time. Good call.
LVP.
I guess poor communication would have to be the LVP here because Walter and Skylar, just him not even knowing where that money went, that's yeah.
Well, the way she saw it is she was going to be able to replace it just as fast if everything went the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Then I guess LVP would be LVP.
We could go with Walt for not making it go the way it was supposed to.
That's a good point. It's a great point. Well, no, this is definitely. Well, no, because then they thought that they changed it up in the laundry. They're like the laundry, like we're going to this laundry instead. He didn't even communicate that where they were going that day, so it would have been, interesting.
Yeah, still no communication there. That's true.
That is true. But yeah, I don't know, LVP. It's really tough. I think the episode's rather perfect, though, so it's really hard to find somebody who's like this kind of dumb. It's like, whatever. Yeah. No, the fact that it's dirty laundry, they purposely put Walter, and I think that's LVP. Yeah, or the fact that Walter Jr. didn't hear Beneke on the answering machine because it was pretty loud. And then she goes around and turns it down. That's pretty bad.
That's a good point. Like I said, I went with Tyrus and Huel. Tyrus was a dick. Huel was useless, but reasonably comfortable. MVP.
Oh, and not using FedEx, right, Todd?
Am I right, Todd? Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. MVP.
Throw rugs.
Not the LVP. That's the MVP.
That's the MVP. Yeah, throw rugs because took out Beneke, took out one of the greatest douches of the show. He overstayed his welcome, and until he didn't need to be here anymore.
All right, my MVP.
It really tied the room together. Okay.
It did tie the room together, and then it tied Ted into a wall. MVP. I went with Jesse. Because call. What have we been saying this whole season? We need to see Jesse back. We need to see Jesse get back to normal. And ever since the last shot of season 3, when he killed Gale, we haven't seen the real Jesse. And now he's finally back. He's normal again. He's getting his life back together. He's getting the people he cares about, allowing them to be close to him again. This is the Jesse we all know and love. And not only that, but he actually has a purpose now too. He has a vision, he has a purpose. He's acting normal again. He's acting like Jesse again, and that's great to see. All right, we're going to talk about what's next. But first, the Walter White body count. You said we need to add something. I'm not quite sure how to phrase what we would add. I don't know. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it for now. And if it comes to me, I'll add it on there. But we're gonna say the Walter White body count remains at 1 Emilio, 1 Crazy 8, 1 Ken Wynn's car, 1 Custodian's career, 1 Tuco hideout, 1 lock, 1 uneaten burrito, 1 paper towel holder, rot. 1 backdoor to Jesse's house, 1 love of Jesse's life, a few burned $100 bills, 1 pepperoni pizza, 1 career in education, 1 meth making RV, 1 beginning of a Galeful friendship, 1 fly, 2 kid killing drug dealers, 1 Gail Bedecker, 1 fateful bottle of wine, 3 laundry worker jobs, 1 Walter Jr. dream car, and 1 Pinkman living room. And the Jesse ass kick count remains at 9.5. The half, of course, again, for self-emotional harm, and which means he gets his ass kicked once every 4.6 episodes. So, what's next?
What's next? Well, Walt will pick himself up, dust himself off, climb out of the crawl space. Probably put back some.
Got one place left to go, and that's up.
Yeah,
He's at rock bottom right now.
or rot bottom. Yeah,
Rot bottom.
Uh,
Hey now.
he'd probably throw back some brewski beers, and yeah,
And some more Vicodin and
yeah, pass back out again. Yeah, this is a tough one. There's got to be another confrontation. I think Hank and Gus at this point. There's going to be every time you're going to see Gus and Hank kind of in the vicinity of each other. I think that's going to be an interesting development. I would like to see Mike and coming back. Now I'm assuming the next episode's going to be a week out from this previous one, so we're going to see Mike possibly back in the States.
You think Walt lasts a week in the status quo?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like Gus just told him, don't interfere with me killing Hank. And the first thing he does is tell someone to call anonymously to warn them. And thinking he was getting out that day, and he's not going anywhere.
Oh my God, is Hank dying? I actually think that's a possibility that was could happen at the end of this season. I don't know. That would be. We are getting close to the season finale. That would be a hell of an ending if that happened. Oh God. Okay, let's not get that too far ahead of ourselves. Yeah, that is a good point though. Would he actually last a week? Would it make sense? No, it would probably have to be like a couple hours after, I would imagine, because there's a difficult conversation in there with Walt and Skyler about what the hell's got to happen, as well. Definitely a difficult conversation there. I still want to see
you gotta think this season ends within a week.
It definitely ends. Okay, it probably ends within the week. Yeah, you're right.
Because just everything has crashed down. Like you can't let
communication is broken down. Yeah, it's broken down. Yeah, it's so hard to predict what happens right now because we're clearly at the rock bottom. Like there's only, like you said, there's only one way but up,
or die.
Yeah, or even further down. That's the thing.
Yeah. The only place left to go is up or 6 feet under. Exactly. That's about it.
But it's kind of a fascinating development too. Obviously, I think that Gus does say something interesting, that you can't get him to turn on me, and Gus says, "Well, in time." But I think Gus already has a contingency plan. Once Jesse's over Walt, his girlfriend's still there too. Like he could threaten her if, like, hey, you're not gonna cook now. You want to try to get out because of her? No, you need to still cook. Maybe he threatens her too. I don't know. I mean, that's too far ahead. It's way too far hypothetically down the line. But yeah, I'm at a loss. I really just don't. I have no idea.
It's hard to see at this point.
Which is really hard to see.
And part of it is because Walt can't see it, right? Walt sees rock bottom. Walt sees nowhere to go. So you don't know where to go.
I think that's the beautiful way that this show has put itself, because usually you can, like, oh God, what's going to happen? They're going to do, I want them to do this, and that, and the other thing. But you've put yourself into this character's shoes, and now you're seeing what the character is feeling and seeing, which is the rock bottom. And sometimes it's really tough to get out of it. Obviously, the show is built on junkies as well, but now you're at a completely at rock bottom, on a completely like its own island, trying to get out of a situation, and you have also the rock bottom of people from the junkies' perspective as well, trying to build him up too. You saw Jesse at rock bottom for a while. You don't know how his character was going to evolve either, and now you're seeing him kind of slowly get out of it. But now you're seeing it turn with Walt at rock bottom now, and that's the character we're focusing on right now. So, Jesse's a double agent. No, I don't know. He's going to do the turn. Obviously, Jesse and Walt care for each other. I want to see them kind of reunite, and it will feel so good when they do. But yeah, it's gonna take time, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating conversation next week. Yeah,
2 more episodes. 2 more episodes till the season's over.
Nuts. It's nuts.
It's crazy. All right, we'll wrap us up.
All right. Well, that is our very excited thoughts on Crawl Space. The title, it did sound like one of those movies like The Rental, for like somebody like doing an Airbnb and then somebody's living in the crawl space. That's I'm glad we didn't go quite there, but after we ended up in a crawl space at the end, it made perfect sense. What a great ending shot in a crawl space. Who would have thought? This is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of crawl space shots of all time. Congratulations, Vince Gilligan and the Breaking Bad crew for creating such an iconic ending shot and making a fantastic episode. So, yeah, I think that's all that
Honestly,
I
I
got.
agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Agrees.
Good. But as always, unless you have something else to say, breakdown of Breaking Bad. That was our breakdown of Breaking Bad.
It is. And
Thank
what
you
do we
very
do
much.
at the end of our breakdown of Breaking Bad? We sit and spin.